Hello everybody, this is Cheri at djsundry.blogspot.com, and today I have a Valentine's card for you. And this is actually a Valentine's card that I'm not doing anything extra to, but taking it straight out of the Cricut book. And the reason why I am doing that is because I wanted to use this universal overlay. Now I know that these overlays are not brand new. I think they came back out something like in August or something like that. And I purchased this shortly thereafter, and I purchased one cartridge just to kind of see how it was going to work out and to see what I thought, and I just have not taken the time to sit down and play with it much. So I thought today that I would share that with you. So I am going to show this card to you, and it's straight out of the cartridge, Creative Holiday Cards. This is the way the new books look. Now I don't know, I haven't done enough research to be able to tell you how things are changing now that the Explorer is coming out, and maybe some of you have heard that. I don't know if they're still planning on making cartridges or if they're going to all digital content. I hope not. I hope they'll still be making cartridges, but we'll see. I'm not planning personally to run out and buy an Explorer. I'm kind of going to keep using my my plain old Expression for at least a bit longer. But anyway, this is a fun cartridge. It has the envelopes and cards for all different sorts of cards, everything from Christmas to spring to Easter to Halloween to Valentine's. There's several Valentine's cards in here. So I thought I would just make this one just kind of as is and go with it. So I'm making this little heart card here. This paper is from K & Company, and it's paper that I've had for quite some time. It's a couple years old, I think the pack is. And so the first thing that I did is, it's this red button here tells me that the best size for this one is 5 inches. Now when I'm all done, we'll actually measure the card and see exactly what that ends up to be. And of course you can play with it. I recently had to update my firmware on my Cricut, and I discovered when I started cutting it that the sizes didn't look quite right, and apparently in updating the firmware or something, I ended up turning on the real dial size. Of course, like when you're using any other Cricut cartridge, whenever you are doing something where everything has to match, you do not want real dial size on, because real dial size will make it a full 5 inches. In fact, that's why I have 2 of these cut here, because this first one was on real dial size, and apparently the card base must be the real dial size, because I recut it just to see what would happen, and they're the exact same size. So this is, it says that I needed button 31. These overlays have the basic function keys on this side that most overlays did have, the load mat and unload mat, and the basic same function. And then the rest of these white keys are all numbered, and then on the side you've got your black keys that are your function keys, and then your shift and your shift lock and your material saver and your real dial size. So for the first one I needed button 31, and I'm just going to set this aside and grab my little thing. So this was button 31, and this is the actual original card right here. So that was the first thing that I had. Set that aside. Now this is when you see the mess I have here. This is when I discovered that I had on real dial size, because I looked at this and I thought, oh, that's obviously not going to work. So I went ahead, then I tried, when I fixed the problem, then I ended up messing up more paper. So what I did is I just came in and I used some of the blank space inside that envelope that was already ruined to cut my heart, because I wanted my envelope and part of my heart to be the same color. So this is some coordinations paper that I had just picked up at Joann's. So this is part of it, and this actually, it said, if I looked at my overlay here, it said to get this one it was key 34, so I got key 34 there. And I'm just going to get these off, and I'm not going to show you me putting all these little pieces together, because obviously you know how to do that. I'll come back when it's time to put together the card and do that. So then we had our envelope, which it said the proper envelope for this size card was key 32, and it's this envelope shape here. So I did the envelope, and I'll just set that aside. So we've got our envelope here. And then this last bit that I did had all of the other elements of the card. So according to this, it said key 33 would cut my heart and my arrows. Now this is where the F buttons, the function buttons, came into play. F1 cut this pink part here, and then just the button 33 cut these arrows here, and then the inside of the card is here, and that was button F1-31. So they seem to be pretty simple to follow along. I didn't have any problem, and thankfully, as Cricut has improved over the last few years in their cartridges, they have improved by color coding their things so that you can kind of see which colors, when you look at the card, which was which, and it just makes it easier, I think. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this apart, and when I come back, we will make the card real quick. Okay, so I have my elements all laid out and ready to go. They went together really super fast. This particular cartridge is definitely for those quick cards when you're in a hurry, kind of like I am today. So I'm glad I pulled this out. Now the inside of this, I'm going to actually make this the inside. It's kind of florally. Since it's for Valentine's, it's not a huge deal, but I'm going to pull out my little card. And actually, let me see. Oh, they're both florally. So I'm going to pull out my card here, and I'm going to score it. Now this does have the score tick mark things that they do, and these are actually fairly wide, wider than I normally would like to see. I'm not a big fan of the tick marks. This one I think will be okay since it is so wide. It won't look funny. The ones I really have a problem with are the ones that they look kind of strange when you're done. But these I think will be okay. But I'm just going to take my bone folder. And there we have that part of the card. And I could open on this side, which is what I'm going to do because of my floral print on the inside. So I'm going to take my ATG gun here and just put the liner in so that I can put that down. And we'll just line that all up. It's pretty simple to do, just like that. Pretty easy. And then we're going to have the front of our card. That white that you see there is just some Georgia Pacific cardstock. And it's very nice. Now, I know that I said I wasn't really going to add a lot to this, and I wasn't going to, but I think I need to make this pop a little bit. And I can do this a couple ways, and I think actually I will use both techniques. The first thing I'm going to do is grab some, I have this color box, maybe we'll use this, and just kind of, I want to add some dimension to this, just to make it pop a little bit more. The next thing I'm going to do also with the heart, I think I will also pop it up on some foam, just because I don't really care for the way that it's looking. So let's grab some scissors here. I just think it needs a little more dimension. And I'm not mailing it, so it really doesn't matter if it's extra stuff in it. So, like I said, this goes together really quickly. I mean, the biggest time that it took was, you know, just looking at it. And this is the first time I've used this, and it didn't take long at all. It took some time doing the picking my papers and finding my papers. This gray paper that you see is just some, it's called Cool Water. It's from Recollections. Just a pretty simple paper. And it's got watercolor tones, and I didn't have a lot of gray, and I really want a gray for this. So there we go. And that's it, guys. That's super simple. Now, I think one thing I'm going to do, I know I said I wasn't going to add too much, but it's just a little too simple for me. Let me grab a stamp here off the side. I had pulled these out for my Valentines. I'm looking, these are from K. Andrew Design. And I think I'm just going to pull this little one. This one's from the It's Valentine set. And these are stamps that I've had from a long time, for quite a long time. And quite frankly, I don't think they're available anymore. She took a sabbatical and said, I haven't seen that she's come back yet. She mentioned that she might someday start making stamps, but she had some life changes and was needing to change some things, and so she basically sold out of everything in the store. There were a few things last time I looked left, but for the most part everything was gone. So if they ever come back, and I hope they will, she has some great stamp sets. This one just says love you so much, and that just finishes up that card. Now if I wanted to, I could also add some ribbon to the side. Wouldn't that be pretty? In fact, I'm going to. Hang on just a second. I just can't stop, can I? Got this humongous ribbon basket. This is all my really reasonable ribbon. And it's ribbon that I have accumulated for years. Well, for a year or so. Maybe a little bit longer than that. And I am no longer doing stuff with really reasonable ribbon because I had so much that I said, okay, it's time to stop for a little while. But super fun ribbon. They have gorgeous ribbons. Their Ribbon of the Month Club is really reasonable. That's why it's called Really Reasonable Ribbon. It is only, I think it's $9 a month. And you can do what I did. I shared it with a friend. And it only cost us each $4.50 that way. And then we would split the ribbon right down the middle. So we always had a good variety of ribbon. I just used so much ribbon from my favorite 3-Girl Jam that I think I'm just going to... Those scissors are quite old, don't cut well. Sorry, I'm off camera there. And that just adds a little extra cute touch there. So there we have a quick and simple Valentine card. This one's actually, I think, going to go to my daughter. So thanks so much for stopping by today, and remember, take some time to enjoy the little things. Have a great day. Okay, so I'm back and I made some changes and I forgot to show you the envelope. So the first thing is I found this gray ribbon that I liked the way it matched better. So I put that on the side. It's still from Really Reasonable Ribbon, but I just like the way it matched better. So that's the card. And then the envelope went together in just a matter of probably 1 or 2 minutes. I had the envelope completely put together. Had these hearts. These are cut from the Art Philosophy cartridge, and it's just a stack of hearts that I had laying around. And I put those on the front. I inked around those with the same color box petal point, and then I put the envelope together. Went together really super quick and very easy. And I also forgot to tell you the size of the card. So the card ends up being about, I'm going to bet it's going to be 5 inches. If you go from the edge to the outer point, it's just right at 5 inches square. It's a pretty much a 5-inch square card, and then it'll fit perfectly inside of that envelope. So there we have the finished card. Actually really truly finished this time. Thanks so much for stopping by, and remember, take some time to enjoy the little things. Have a great day. Bye.